Welcome back to another reading and correcting. With me, Kindar, the Tiger Writes, and Ty, the Tiger Supervisor. These are where I read a chapter from one of my stories and correct it as I go. If you want to listen to these live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. And if you are looking to support me, that is on my Patreon. Today, we are doing chapter 49 of The Captain's Heart. Alpha, medical wishes to speak to you, the hunter at comms said. Transfer it. The doctor's face appeared on the screen. Doctor, he greeted her. Captain, I thought you'd like to know Engineer Alexiana Karan Debaran is awake. He smiled. How is he? Not well enough for you to ask him about his knowledge of the gods' involvement, if that's what you're hoping for. The dismissive tone was clear, but he is well enough for visitors. Thank you. Of course. The screen went blank. He relaxed. Position. 12.3 light years past the start of the unclaimed territory, Tom answered. Scan report. Nothing out of us other than dust and the occasional rock. That confirmed what Alex Waking said. Bridge, stand down to regular flight duties. The hunt is over, other than bringing the carcass home. I'll let your beta knows you have performed well. He undid the armor's jacket and ruffled his chest fur. He wrinkled his nose. As always, he'd need a shower as soon as he was out of it. Fortunately, Jeremy was on the ship and he could. His tablet buzzed and he checked it. The psychologist. Informing him Jeremy had his first language imprinting session and that she was keeping him in her office until the effigy of pay passed. From his memory, it would be a few hours, so much for enjoying a shower with him. He wasn't waiting to get out of these. He was heading to the lockers, then to see Alex and fill out reports. The sandy-furred male reclined on the bed and watched him approach, his expression searching. Gralgiran placed a hand on the arm and squeezed. Alex, it's good to see you out of that tube, my friend. Alex searched his face. He opened his muzzle and made a sound that Gralgiran couldn't associate, and made sounds that Gralgiran couldn't associate to any words. The engineer is still suffering from damage to his brain, the medic said, arriving on the other side of the bed. Alex looked at him, confused. Once the psychologist examined him and given her report, we'll start on repairing it. How long until he can leave medical? The doctor would be the one able to hazard a guess, but the damage is extensive. Gralgiran squeezed the arm again, pulling Alex's attention back to him. He smiled. You'll be screaming at me in no time. He leaned in and rubbed muscles. Alex startled at the initial contact, then leaned into it. I'll visit again when you're better. I'll tell you what the gods have been up to in your absence. His friends grabbed his arm as he turned to leave. The sound had urgency to them, but carried no details. It's still there, he reassured him. There was only one thing Alex could get this worked up over. As he'd expected, that calmed him. The tone he could understand, even if he lacked the ability to speak right now. The tone, or could he understand even if he lacked the ability to speak right now? A male and female ran by him as he exited. Ali, they just told us you were awake. How are you? We missed you so much. From the exit, he couldn't make out Alex's expression, but the pain on both told him they'd received the same lack of recognition he had. Hopefully, they wouldn't take it personally. The medic's explanation didn't seem to help. He left them to return to his work. Now that he'd turned the scan result, along with the information that had been gathered in other ways, into a proper report for the Security Council. Okay. Forward. Grade 1. Forward to the trade one and sent it. He looked at the information and marveled. 12 reactors. 6 inactive, they'd learned, now that they had time to study the scan's detail. Enough antimatter stockpile to power them for centuries. What did they need so much of it for? Let alone where they'd gotten it all. A check of the trade quotas with non-Federation species told them that if they'd gotten it through trade, someone was looking at severe sanction. Not his hunt, but he was still curious. The Tahornian were the one that jumped to his mind, and the fact they shared the border with the Earthers made it harder to dismiss them. And harder to dismiss just because he dealt with so many Tahornian pirates in his years on the line. The Radoshi had to be considered. Their mind worked so differently than anyone else that understanding why they did something could be a task worthy of just Billiam. The Kelsirian, okay, yeah, this is where, because this is a change I did in the middle of the book. I haven't gone back and fixed it yet. As of the reading of this. Yeah, I need to do that. And once I've done that, I will be removing this line because it'll be explained. And Radosef were out as possibilities. Laws were too important to the Kelsirian, and the Ryosef didn't get the nuances needed to justify skirting laws. When they broke them, they basically told everyone. It still left many other possibilities, and for that, he was happy he wouldn't be assigned that hunt. The chime let him know someone wanted to enter, and a glance at his desk had him frown at who stood outside his door. He let the hunter in. Turek Selminial wore a casual vest and pants, but remained at attention when he stood on the other side of the desk. What can I do for you, Hunter? I'm here, Alpha, for the chastising I deserve. My beta is on his way. What have you done that needs me to chastise you instead of your beta? I addressed you directly during a conflict. I risk dividing your attention. He opened his muzzle to contradict the male, then remembered the whispered talk to him. The advice had been good, but the hunter was right. He had spoken well out of place, except I was your active beta since yours was sleeping. No, Alpha. You placed me under beta Ruk Deran Derim for the chase. I should have passed the information to her so she could tell you. Why didn't you? The male opened his muzzle, then closed it, as if he hadn't considered that before. Gralgiran had expected there was no time. That could get a hunter out of trouble for breaking rank, and he would have accepted it. I didn't consider it, Alpha. I simply spoke. He liked that the male didn't make excuses, but it placed him in a difficult situation he didn't like. Punishing people for doing something that helped, even when it was against procedure, never sat well with him. Before he formulated something adequate. I don't need the would be. Something adequate. The chime sounded again. The hunter's beta had arrived. Alpha, the beta greeted as he took position next to Turok Selminial. The glance and shake. Of the ears told him the male didn't know why his hunter was there. You didn't tell your beta. I didn't act while under him, Alpha. This isn't something he needs to bear responsibility for. It won't happen again, the beta stated, and Gralgiran smiled. He appreciated a male willing to make blind assurance in regards to his hunter. It meant he knew him well. I don't doubt you. He looked at the hunter Turok Selminial. For breaking rank during active conflict, you are relieved of your duties for the next 2 shifts. Go home and be a civilian. The hunter looked at him, confused, then at his beta. Is that really appropriate punishment, Alpha? Are you questioning my judgment? No, Alpha. He looked at the hunter. The ear twitched, and Gralgiran made out the sort of a question in code, but the beta remembered ear code was taught to all hunters and stopped. What did he do? Your hunter provided important information, bypassing the beta I assigned him for the chase. Then, his information, Information led to my heart being rescued without us needing to engage in active battle. If he'd brought up the time-sensitive nature of his defense as his defense, I would have accepted it, but he didn't. So I'm forced to punish him, but I don't have to be harsh. You are dismissed. Alpha, the beta said, and the hunter paused in turn. Said, not moving. Alpha, the beta said, not moving, and the hunter paused in turning. You aren't needed, hunter. Once the hunter left, the beta relaxed. I have made arrangement for a beta to take charge of my hunters when I sleep. Who? Beta de Cynical Dosirar. He'd have to look her file over to be certain, but the memory he had of his interaction with her was of a no-nonsense female with a hard punch. What parameter has she agreed to? If my pack has to go active while I'm sleeping, they become hers, only if we're not already active. Again, you'd have to check, but he thought she worked cover ops with Zophiel. So the odds, Zophiel. Is that someone? I don't, well, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to, yeah, I'm gonna have to extend her name because even in my file, it's still short, because Gralgiran would not be on short name basis with her. So I'll have to fix that. So the odds were both the units being active at the same time were low. All right, I will update the files. He considered something. I want you to train Hunter Turuk Selminial to become a beta. Yes, Alpha. You can go. Training didn't mean he'd become qualified, but he had hopes for someone named for the Father God. Gralgiran attracted looks as he ran. Jeremy was free to go, the message had said. He wasn't letting him wander the ship or have to ask where his quarters were. He would be at the side of his heart, and he sank. He sank. Okay. He almost collided with the Earther as the council. Even his claws in the floor. Even sinking his claws in the flooring. Hi? Jeremy sounded amused. I greet you in Kelsirian, but learning the language didn't make my throat able to pronounce it. Gralgiran smiled. I missed you. He placed a hand on Jeremy's cheek, who flinched, but caught the hand before he pulled it away. I'm sorry. No, it's okay. You caught me by surprise, that's all. Public displays like this are going to take some getting used to. Don't Earthers show they care for their heart when among others? We do, but all of this is new to me. Then how about we head to our quarters so I can show you how much I missed you? Jeremy swallowed but smiled. Yes. And this ends chapter 49 of The Captain's Heart. If you are enjoying this, please leave a like. If you want to know when the next chapter is going to be up, subscribe and hit the bell. If you want to read this story, it is on Ream Story. If you want to listen to these live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch and YouTube. I keep forgetting. Links are in the notes. And with that, I shall wish you a good day.